I never thought I'd be the one to say this, but here I am 80 years old, living in the United States, and regretting my decision to move into a nursing home. Back when I was in my early 70s, I assumed this would be the place where I'd live out my golden years with ease and comfort. I pictured an environment filled with friendly faces, daily activities, and nurses who'd always be there to help. I imagined an almost carefree life, free from the household chores and responsibilities I'd dealt with for decades. But let me tell you, reality turned out quite different. While every nursing home is unique and many have their advantages, my personal experience opened my eyes to a range of pitfalls I never saw coming. If you're someone in your later years or a friend or family member of an older adult, please stick around. You might find the insights I'm about to share more valuable than you'd expect. And if you've ever wondered whether a nursing home is right for you, or if you're simply curious about what goes on behind those doors, buckle up, because I'm about to share 6 harsh lessons nobody warned me about. Regret 1. Losing my sense of independence. When I first arrived at the nursing home, I believed I was making a smart move for my health and well-being. I thought, I've worked hard my entire lifetime to let someone else do the cooking, cleaning, and laundry. However, I soon realized I'd given up something far more precious in exchange: my sense of independence. Sure, I no longer had to vacuum or scrub the dishes, but it also meant I could no longer decide my own meal times or easily spend a day out without going through a tedious process of approvals. The problem. The concept of freedom is deeply ingrained in the American spirit. We like to do things our way: eat breakfast when we feel hungry, sit on the porch at sunset if we want some fresh air, or take a spontaneous trip to the local grocery store. In a nursing home, many decisions I used to take for granted were replaced by standardized schedules. While staff tried their best to accommodate personal preferences, it's just not the same as living on your own. Small daily choices like waking up late on a Saturday or cooking a favorite meal became either impossible or subject to bureaucratic layers. The consequence. I started feeling like a guest in my own life. For instance, there was one weekend when I desperately wanted to attend my grandson's school play. But because the nursing home staff didn't have enough caregivers available, they couldn't spare the resources for my transportation. My daughter offered to come pick me up, but the home needed official clearance for me to leave that night. By the time all was said and done, I missed half the performance. That heartbreak was my first wake-up call, and I've never forgotten the look of disappointment on my grandson's face. Loss of independence can lead to an emotional downward spiral. I felt powerless, like I'd forfeited my autonomy. When you're young, you don't appreciate how precious simple decisions can be. But at my age, it can be downright crushing to realize you're no longer the captain of your own ship. I woke up each day with a sense of emptiness, and I started to question whether this was what the rest of my years would look like. The warning. If you're watching this and wondering whether you or a loved one should consider a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to relinquish day-to-day control? Some people thrive in structured environments, especially if they need close medical attention. Others, like me, might feel stifled by rules and timetables. Before you sign on the dotted line, think long and hard about the balance between assistance and independence. Nursing homes can be a lifesaver for medical needs, but the trade-offs can be substantial. If you've ever felt that same fear of losing your independence, let me know by commenting the number 1 down below. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own stories. We need to build a community that supports each other through these difficult choices. Regret 2. Feeling abandoned and lonely. Back when I lived in my own little house, I would see my neighbors every day. My grandchildren would pop by after school to raid the cookie jar and tell me about their day. I could walk to the local diner and chat with the folks behind the counter. It never crossed my mind that moving to a place with dozens of residents could actually make me feel more alone. The problem. People assume that a nursing home is a bustling community, but in truth, it's easy to feel isolated. Many residents spend much of their time in their rooms. Some struggle with physical mobility, others feel depressed, and a few just don't care to engage in the social activities. For someone like me, who treasures face-to-face conversations and spontaneous visits, it was heartbreaking to realize that. After the initial excitement of moving day faded, the visits from my friends and even some family members became less frequent. Everyone assumed I was taken care of, so they visited less often. The consequence. Loneliness is a silent poison. It creeps up on you and manifests as this profound ache in your chest. I started thinking, does anyone remember me? Does anyone care? I recall a Tuesday afternoon. Tuesdays used to be the day my daughter and grandkids would visit. I sat by the window from lunchtime until the evening, waiting for the sound of footsteps in the hallway. They never came. That moment hammered home the idea that while everyone else's life keeps going, mine had become static. Eventually, that disappointment morphed into resentment. I found myself snapping at nurses, avoiding the communal dining hall, and feeling a deep sense of abandonment. The warning. But don't underestimate the emotional toll of loneliness. Even in a place filled with people, you can feel isolated if you don't have genuine connections. Moving to a nursing home can unintentionally send a message to friends and family that you're under professional care and less in need of regular visits. But we all need connection, no matter our age. If you're considering a move to a nursing home, or if you have an elderly relative, remember that consistent, meaningful contact is essential. No matter how great the staff is, nothing replaces the warmth of family and old friends who know your history and love you for who you are. Have you ever felt this kind of loneliness or worried about someone feeling isolated in a nursing facility? Comment too if you relate to this regret. And remember, it's crucial to keep interacting with the people you care about, so hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video to spread the word. Let's remind each other that nobody deserves to be forgotten. Regret 3. Financial burdens I didn't anticipate. When I was younger, I used to believe that a nursing home would be an all-inclusive package room, board, medical assistance, and social activities wrapped into one neat bundle. After all, that's how they often presented in brochures: stress-free living in your later years. But the financial reality hit me like a freight train. The problem. Nursing homes in the United States can be expensive, astronomically so. My particular facility looked lovely at first glance. The building was fairly new, and the staff seemed competent. But soon enough, I realized that many additional charges weren't included in the monthly fee. Want an upgraded meal plan? Extra charge. Need specialized physical therapy more than twice a week? Extra charge. Even small things like certain medical supplies not covered by insurance began piling up. It's not that the nursing home was trying to be shady, it's just the standard business model. They offer a base rate, and then they charge for add-on services. What I didn't understand was how quickly those add-ons would rack up, especially when your health condition changes. I was forced to dip into my retirement savings more than I expected, leaving me anxious about my financial security. The consequence. I found myself really stressed over finances at an age when I should have been focusing on relaxation and family. I'd see money drained from my account every month, and I began to worry about outliving my savings. It's a chilling thought. You move to a nursing home believing it's your final stop, only to find you might not be able to afford it if your health declines or your needs grow. I'll never forget the night I calculated my monthly expenses for medication, physical therapy, and the premium activities that offered a bit more than the standard bingo sessions. The total nearly doubled my expected cost. I lay awake for hours wondering how I'd manage. The sense of security I sought by moving here was replaced by financial fear. The warning. If you're contemplating this move, do a thorough cost breakdown no matter how tedious. Factor in not just the monthly room and board but also potential healthcare needs, therapy, specialized transportation, and personal supplies. Plan for contingencies. Speak with a financial advisor if you can. The cost of care can be overwhelming, and you don't want to be blindsided. Have you or your loved ones experienced unexpected financial hurdles in nursing homes or assisted living? Comment 3 if that strikes a chord. Also, be sure to subscribe for more candid conversations about aging, finances, and the realities we face in our senior years. Hit the like button if you find value in these honest stories, and remember to share this video with anyone navigating similar choices. Regret 4. The emotional weight of watching others decline. Living in a community of older adults who often face serious health challenges can be both comforting and distressing. On the one hand, you find a sense of camaraderie among people who understand chronic pain, who appreciate a helping hand or a kind smile. On the other hand, it can be deeply unsettling to watch neighbors and friends decline rapidly before your eyes. The problem. When I moved here, I befriended a lovely woman named Margaret. She was 78, full of zest, and still crocheted blankets for her grandkids. We used to have long chats about her favorite quotes. One she repeated often was by Satchel Paige. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you was? It made us laugh and dream about how life would feel if we forgot our age. But just 6 months later, Margaret suffered a series of small strokes. She lost much of her mobility and found it difficult to speak clearly. Suddenly, our hallway chats vanished, replaced by short visits to her room where she lay staring at the ceiling in confusion. The consequence. The emotional toll of seeing your peers struggle can't be overstated. You realize how fragile life is day by day. When you're in your own home, you might not witness this decline as closely. You'll hear about a neighbor's health problems occasionally or visit a friend in the hospital. But in a nursing home, you live with it. You see wheelchairs, medical equipment, and the quiet despair that sometimes settles in when independence fades. For me, it led to a sense of dread. Could that be me in a few months? I began to fear the worst for my own future. This emotional weight can lead to depression, anxiety, or a sense of hopelessness. Some residents withdraw entirely, preferring to stay in their rooms rather than bond with people who might pass away or lose their faculties. It's a vicious cycle. The more you see decline, the more you fear it, and the more you might isolate yourself to avoid the pain of attachment. The warning. Before you decide on a nursing home, consider your own emotional resilience. Do you have strategies to cope with watching others suffer? Do you have a support system, family, friends, a faith community that can help you process the sadness? Understand that while you'll find compassion, you'll also be confronted with the reality of aging in ways that might test your mental and emotional well-being. If you've ever worried about the emotional toll of witnessing decline and death, comment 4 to let me know I'm not alone. Also, please subscribe and like this video if you appreciate these honest reflections. Share it with anyone who could benefit from these insights, because no one should feel unprepared for the emotional challenges of communal living in our senior years. Regret 5. Limited personal space and privacy. I grew up in a time when personal space was cherished. We lived in single-family homes on tree-lined streets, with enough yard to grow vegetables and space to host the grandkids. In my 70s, I didn't realize just how much I valued the privacy of my own home until I moved into a single room inside a large complex where privacy often felt like a luxury rather than a given. The problem. Nursing homes are designed for efficiency and safety. Hallways are wide enough for wheelchairs, rooms are equipped with emergency call buttons, and staff can enter at any time to check on residents. These are good things, especially if you have health issues. Yet this also means that the boundary between you and the staff becomes blurry. From the moment I moved in, I felt like I was always under a microscope. Nurses would enter my room early in the morning to take vitals or deliver medication, sometimes waking me up. Even though they were polite, it felt invasive. And it's not just staff, there's a rotation of cleaning crews, maintenance people, and other residents who might accidentally wander into the wrong room. If you cherish alone time the way I do, it can feel suffocating. You miss having a whole house to yourself where you can close the door and truly be alone. The consequence. Over time, the lack of privacy started to wear on me. I found myself anxious whenever I heard footsteps in the hallway, worried someone might barge in without knocking. This constant state of vigilance drained my energy and affected my mood. I even tried placing a small sign on my door that said, "Please knock," but in a nursing home setting, staff are often obligated to check on residents regardless of signage. Privacy is not merely a preference, it's tied to a sense of autonomy and dignity. Being able to decide who enters your space and when is a fundamental aspect of feeling in control. Once that control is diminished, it can lead to anxiety, irritability, and even depression. The warning. If you're used to having your own personal corner of the world, be prepared for a major adjustment. Think about how you'll handle the constant comings and goings of staff. If possible, discuss boundaries with the nursing home ahead of time. Some facilities are better about respecting personal space than others. Ask detailed questions about visitation policies, staff protocols, and the layout of the rooms. A few extra precautions can save you from feeling like a permanent guest in someone else's house. If the thought of losing privacy concerns you, comment 5 below. And please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone contemplating the move to a nursing facility. Your engagement not only helps us grow this supportive community, but also ensures more seniors and their families get the full picture before making life-changing decisions. Regret 6. Missing out on life outside those walls. There's a certain irony in how a place designed to care for older adults can sometimes make us miss the vibrancy of the outside world even more. When I lived on my own, I took the world for granted. I could hop into my car, drive to the beach, or visit the local farmer's market whenever I wanted, aches and pains permitting. After moving here, that spontaneity disappeared. The problem: nursing homes often organize events and outings, but they're limited by budget, staff availability, and liability concerns. If you want to join a trip to a local museum, you have to sign up days in advance. If enough people don't show interest, the outing might be canceled. And even if it isn't, you'll likely be chaperoned the entire time. Spontaneity is practically gone. One day I recall noticing how beautiful the weather was, sunny and warm, a perfect day for a drive along the coast. But I couldn't just get in my old Buick and go. I had to coordinate with staff, fill out forms, and hope someone was available to escort me. By the time everything was in order, the day was half gone. The consequence: this limitation hit me hard. I started feeling disconnected from the real world. It's as if I was watching life unfold through a window, a passive observer instead of an active participant. I missed the smell of fresh grass in my backyard, the quick weekend getaways to the lake, and even mundane chores like grocery shopping. It might sound strange, but there's a certain satisfaction in picking your own tomatoes and chatting with the cashier at checkout. Over time, this sense of missing out can lead to sadness and regret. You realize that life is short, and every day spent in a locked routine is a day you'll never get back. And yes, a lot of my peers here feel exactly the same way. We reminisce about the good old days when we could come and go as we pleased. That realization that our world had become a sealed bubble became one of my biggest regrets. The warning: before moving to a nursing home, think about how important mobility and outdoor activity are to you. If you're a social butterfly or someone who thrives on nature and fresh air, you might need a facility that offers more freedom, or consider home care options. Look for places that have flexible visiting hours or that allow residents to travel freely with family. Because once you sign that contract, you're committing to an environment where you'll rely on others to help you live life beyond those walls. If you fear missing out on the world outside a nursing home, comment 6 right now. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comment section. By engaging with this community, you can help others make informed decisions about one of the biggest moves of their lives. Final thoughts. These 6 regrets aren't meant to demonize all nursing homes. Every facility is different, and some people genuinely thrive under the constant care and company. Indeed, if you require around-the-clock medical attention, a nursing home might be the best option for you. But what I want you to remember is this: you have choices. Before signing on the dotted line, ask the tough questions about cost, about daily schedules, about privacy, and about your emotional well-being. Talk to friends, family, and medical professionals. Don't let fear or convenience be your only guides. As the saying goes, we don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. Keep that spirit alive by staying curious, staying active, and staying connected with the wider world, no matter where you live. Now, I want to leave you with 3 valuable life lessons I've gleaned from my journey. 1. Cherish your independence, however small. Even if it's just deciding what time to have your coffee in the morning, those little acts of control matter more than you think. 2. Don't underestimate the power of human connection. Whether you're living alone or in a nursing facility, make time for genuine relationships. A warm conversation can light up even the gloomiest day. 3. Plan for the future, but don't forget to live in the present. It's wise to prepare financially and medically, but don't become so focused on planning that you miss the simple joys unfolding right now. Thank you for watching and listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you've got any questions or regrets of your own, drop them in the comments. You never know who might benefit from your insight. Take care, and may you find the path that truly suits you and your loved ones.